Oleksandr Motuzyanyk, who is a spokesperson of the administration of the President of Ukraine on the issues of anti-terrorist operation. And after his speech, we will have a phone-in with Yuri Bereza, who will come from Dnipropetrovsk, who will comment on the situation on the blocking of the alleged blocking of Pravy sector, right sector in Dnipropetrovsk region. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. So, over the last 24 hours, the situation in the zone of the anti-terrorist operation has not undergone significant changes. The illegal armed formations, as previously, do use actively the kinds of arms banned by the Minsk agreements. Yesterday, 22 enemy shellings from 120mm mortars and 5 from cannons of 122mm caliber. Also, the enemy used tanks and sharpshooters. However, our military efficiently fire in response. There was a series of combat clashes in Mariupol sector next to the village Pavlopil and also next to village Chermalik. On the other hand, there was no shelling and firing at our positions in the vicinity of the village Shirokine, which was fired upon every day in recent weeks. At the moment, the local streets in Shirokine are strewn with explosive devices, ammunition, and mines. 40 people still live in the village who are mostly old and can't leave their dwellings. In Donetsk sector, the gunmen have more than once violated the regime of silence in the vicinity of the airport and the western suburbs of Gorlivka. 2/3 of all armed provocations of the enemy fall on this sector. In Luhansk sector, the activity of gunmen has grown. Next to the city of Shasta, there was a series of exchanges of fire. Also, not far from Krymsky and Sokilniki. According to the State Border Service, there were 27 flights of enemy drones in the east of Ukraine. Also, on the controlled part of the Ukrainian-Russian border in Kharkiv region and at the administrative line with the occupied Autonomous Republic of Crimea, the border patrols have seen the flights of Russian helicopters Mi-8. Over the last 24 hours, there are no killed Ukrainian military as a result of combat clashes, and 3 were wounded. Russia continues an arrogant information campaign against Ukraine. In mid-April, a group of pro-Russian hackers have disseminated an article on the arrival of American military experts who allegedly had to take part in provocations on the territory of Ukraine. As a proof, the hackers have published a copy of the so-called letter from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine to the bodies of state power. However, this is a fake information, and the foreign inspectors have visited Ukraine to conduct verification measures according to the Vienna document of 2011. The real letter is dated 26th of May 2014, not April 2015, and it has the information about the arrival of the inspection group from the USA for the period of the 28th of May to the 6th of 2014. Also, the internet carries statements about which non-objectively and comment on the situation in Dnipropetrovsk region, where there are training of highly mobile commando troops of the armed forces of Ukraine continue. In late on the 28th of April and in the morning of the 29th of April, there were telephone talks between the Chief of Staff of Armed Forces of Ukraine, Colonel General Viktor Mushenko, and his advisor Dmytro Yarosh.
They spoke about integration of volunteers corps with Armed Forces of Ukraine, and they cooperate for the sake of one goal: peace in Ukraine. In Ukraine, there is the fifth wave of partial mobilization that began on April 10, and it allowed additional time to inform people to check their healthcare and to build teams with necessary professionals. At the same time, there is a campaign to mobilize to enlist, and about 50 enlisted went to their place of service from Zaporizhia, and in this spring, 900 representatives of Zaporizhia region will join the armed forces. They will not be sent to ATO. They will serve at the places of dislocation of the military units. Ukrainian armed forces receive military equipment. Professionals from Kharkiv armored vehicle plant factory. They sent a new column of Tank 60 for the renewed system of fire guidance and defense of tanks and maintenance. Although they were tested, they were meant for combat activity in ATO. Ukrainian military men get skills, medical skills, and at Rivno test field there is a course of tactical medicine, white berets, and under the condition of maximal close to military activities. Healthcare, they train future instructors. International community helps Ukraine also. On the 28th of April, there was they gave night vision devices for National Guards of Ukraine. 51 set of modern equipment will help with the quality and will help to save the life of our soldiers. 10 military men who were wounded during battles in ATO went on to be treated and rehabilitated in Romania. A military plane from Romania took our soldiers from Borispol. The Donetsk police will work a lot during these holidays, and they will be in that regime mode until May 10. And the coordinating activities will other law enforcement bodies and police will check all places where masses of people are planned to be. They will survey buildings, and all residents of the region should be ready to bigger control on checkpoints, higher level of control. Military forces of Ukraine, they find secret places where ammunition is found. They found in local newspapers six shell from a shell, 3 anti-tank guided rockets, and 2 charges for grenade launcher. Thank you very much. We'll call Yuri Berezan. He's an MP of Ukraine from People's Front, and he's a commander of Dnipro 1. He will comment the situation at Dnipropetrovsk to block in the base of volunteers corps of Red Sector. Yuri, good afternoon. Ukraine Crisis Media Center. Could you comment what is happening in Dnipropetrovsk? I can hardly hear you. We hear you well. So tell us about the situation on the base of the Red Sector. First of all, I don't have clear information what is happening there. And if anything is happening there, I can only tell you what's happening in Facebook. Unfortunately, in Facebook, the majority of events and mostly battles are taking place in social networks. And at present, I believe that The nation should get united and to do everything that will help to return peace to Ukraine. All the rest, which is related to internal contradiction, I'm against that, because only a dwarf from Kremlin will win from that. And we have a lot of questions to some organizations and that raise the flag and they say they belong to Dnipro 1 regiment. I had so many fights and they say they belong to Dnipro 1, but I have nothing to do with Dnipro 1. So my position is clear. All units that fight for the independence of Ukraine should be clearly identified. Are they for Ukraine or against Ukraine? And here's the question. Police, Armed Forces of Ukraine, and SBU. Thank you. Colleagues, if you have questions to Yuri. Thank you, Yuri. We have questions to the Colonel. I have a whole list of questions. So, tell me please, what is happening in Dnipropetrovsk region, Pokrovsky district? What is happening there near the base of the right sector? Why the brigades 25 why they put the checkpoints? Everything that is taking place in Dnipropetrovsk region, there is a training planned trainings of paratroopers of Armed Forces of Ukraine, and to connect those trainings with some other events or statements, it makes no sense. Tell me please, who gave the order? What could you? That the right sector, they were surprised that they installed checkpoints and the cannons are directed at them, targeted at them. In general staff, they have plans, and according to which they hold different trainers, and some trainers could be after some after issues are agreed. Again, I would like to emphasize these trainers are not related to those statements we see, and why the right sector was not informed that it is a training for them not to go to the presidential administration with the pickets. There is no order about informing other units about planned trainings. That's not compulsory. What is the agreement between armed forces and the right sector? There is communication between the general staff and his advisor Yarosh Dmitriyevs. They are in touch, and they discuss. This is a negotiation process. It takes and all organizing issues. There will be more information a little bit later. People who are at the presidential administration, they say that there is pressure on them, and they speak about there is their efforts to disarm them. There is no pressure on them. Once again, I would like to emphasize: nobody was directing weapons at someone. Is there a request to disarm them? No. Nobody is disarming. There is a negotiation process. When the train is over, according to the plan, those checkpoints will be taken away. I'm not ready to tell you when. When they finish, complete all the tasks after all the training. What are the training? Any training has one goal: to improve the combat readiness of our military men. That's the main goal. Thank you. Colleagues, do you have more questions? Thank you, Colonel. Next briefing will be about the situation in the east of Ukraine. Will be tomorrow.